take for me to get this thing done? Because, frankly, where we are today in the U.S. is a very scary place financially. And we need to be nimble, and we need to be very fast and very creative, because frankly, the Chinese, the Indians, the Filipinos, the Romanians, these people can outthink us, right? They can work faster than us. They can outproduce us. We're not really that competitive in the worldscape anymore. We're not top dogs. Most people don't realize that. So what do we have fundamentally that we have that nobody else can do? You capture that, you leverage on your strength, and then you kind of let other people do things that's quicker, faster than you. Let them, don't stop them, because the whole protectionism, American companies should always hire American people. Well, sometimes it's not economic to do that. So if you can hire somebody 1/5 the price and get the same amount of productivity, shouldn't you? But if you can do that in a very ethical and also be able to create more jobs and opportunities here, you can. So what you have here, what the West have at the key here is it's called the creative economy. What we have is intellectual property. We create things, we invent things like the iPod, like SocialSAM, like Facebook. That's our gift, and we should leverage on our strength and let others do what they're good at. Your gift might be building communities, and that's what you're here for. Learning how to unite and build communities. That's a gift that somebody in Romania might not be able to do. U.S. culture. The language, and there's certain social media skills that you may know or can learn that these people are still lagging behind, because they're pretty much industrial and professional phase of their economic development. We're in the creative phase. So there's the industrial phase, which was all the way up to like the 50s, 70s, that time frame. And then we went into the information era. So a lot of times we were in the information phase, and information and professional life, because we were sold and bought the idea of, hey, get a university degree, you'll be safe and you'll have a job. We all bought into that. Let's be honest, right? I did. So, but that's no longer a success strategy, and so many people still buy into that as a success strategy. Unfortunately, it's an illusion. We've changed. The world has changed. What we are in now is the creative economy. The creative economy is a totally different set of success survival skills that you don't previously have in the information age and professional age. In the professional age, you'd be an accountant, a doctor, a lawyer. That was what is the measure of success, how you get ahead in life. It's no longer necessarily true. Because most of those skills, they're knowledge worker skills, can very, very easily be done in India, and have been done in India, in China, in Romania. These other countries are now coming up to speed on what we've taken for granted over the last 30, 50 years. So what if they're doing the same thing at 1/5 of the price that we're at, what does that leave the U.S.? What does that leave us? What do we have to leverage on what we're good at that they can't do, right? And that's our creative genius. The U.S. is blessed with a very independent culture, whereas in Asia, it's all about the hive mentality, being harmonious with everybody. Don't stick out, don't speak out. Don't stick up and don't speak out, right? So we're different. We pride in our individuality, our creativeness, and that's kind of what your message is. And so you're in a golden age of your era, that you're on the rise, because now we have people who need to be educated in this whole movement, and you have a mission to help transform the West. It is a conviction. You have something that's bigger than yourself, because you're out there. You're one of the people that can save this sinking ship, really. And it's your goal. Obligation to go out there to get this message through to people, right?
Yeah.
And how we tap into that is we tap into our creative genius. Every one of us has creative inspirations that we are too shy. So when we were born perfect. Your parents say you're perfect, you're beautiful. But what happened between the age of 5 and the age of 18? You got damaged somewhere in there. You know, the school
by the
system,
same parents.
Well, maybe
it could be culture.
It could be culture. It could be education. Just things happen that kind of, you know, like let's say you have this brightening beam of light, and then your parents say you shouldn't say this.
Yeah.
All right,
Dimmer.
and exactly, and then the school says, you know, you're math deficient. Okay, now this is this another path. So now this light beam has to go this way, and before long this little peck, you know, and that's what most people live in. Is that so? Our job is to kind of break away that and remember your original creative genius, where you were originally, and shine out, and because that's really what's going to save us, is your original. What you were born with, and tap into that, and whatever gift that you have to the world. So my father asked me a very specific question that changed my life. Instead of saying, what will you be when you grow up? He said, what contribution will you make to humanity? And that's in line with what I'm saying, right? With your creative genius. If every one of us has a purpose and a meaning in this life. What can you do to make this world a better place? You may have, you might be mentally retarded. You might have challenges. You may have, you're homeless. But you know what? From that position of challenge, you have a very unique perspective on life that nobody else has. I'm just saying that as a challenge. You know, just use your adversity as a token, as a anchor of strength, rather than victim mentality. Right? Because I've also had challenges in my life, as I shared with you, right? I'm a refugee. I didn't speak English. I didn't know anybody. I could have used that as my token of poor me. But I didn't. I used that as a source of strength. When people ask me, if you had an opportunity to go back in time and redo your life, what would you change? And it's a common party game that they do. And unfortunately, or fortunately for me, I said nothing. I value all those experiences I have in my life because they've made me who I am today. Whether I was homeless, whatever those adversities may be, it's not it's about framing. How you frame that. So something happens, and how you interpret it changes everything. So if I was attacked by somebody, and I could have said, okay, oh my God, I was a victim, you know, and interpret that as a victim, you know, oh my God, he did this. Or I could have said, you know what, that person needed that my money more than I did, obviously, because I wouldn't go and attack somebody. So use that as a source of your strength, not your weakness. Do a karmic jiu-jitsu, you know, per se. So I hope that is kind of a set that perspective, that energy of what I'm intending for this event is. It's going to be at a much deeper and higher level than, you know, your conventional seminar.
Yes.
So let's move on, Mike. So change is coming, as I said. What the West is encountering, unfortunately, is when you're. I'm sure you've seen the movies where these people are on a little canoe, a lifeboat, and they're on a joyride on the river, and around the bend there's this waterfall.
Yeah.
About to drop. Change is happening, and those who are prepared will survive this impending drop. What I mean by that is, look, I have a friend who's very dear to me who had some disabilities, and she said something that totally just shocked me to the core and hurt me in that I feel the pain of what's coming,